What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In this channel we repair small engines, so if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind later. Now today's it's going to be on this Troy-Bilt Rototiller. It's a back one. It's a back drive, so it's not a walk behind. This has the Kohler Magnum 8 on it. Carburetor's right down there. Now I just got this in, and I believe all that we need to get it running is the carburetor cleaned and some fresh gas in there. Could be wrong. We could need a spark plug or oil change or belts. Let's make sure everything looks good. It's moving stuff down there on the carburetor. These Troy-Bilts are really good engines, or really good machines. So, without further ado, let's roll that intro and get right into repairing this. Okay, we're going to start right here with the wing nut. We're trying to get access to the air filter and the carburetor. So wing nut here, that should just allow the air filter to come off. Boy, oh boy, we're gonna need a new air filter. This one's just coming apart. So we'll order that. Now from there, it looks like we have an 8mm. Oh, it's going to be an 11. That's different. Let me get a tool. Okay, so it's an 11 right there for the nut holding on the air filter to the carburetor. And there's that. Ooh, it's hot. This was a little dirty there. Air filter's off. Air filter looks relatively in good condition other than the foam part on top. Now here's the fun part. Those are driver size. 1, 2, 3. I think that's all that's holding it. Rubber washer there. So let me get you a different angle here. So looking at it, we got 1, 2, 3 driver size. Man, I had the standard for Kohler engines, the 10, the 13, and the 8, and a Phillips here and there. But man, I need an 11 and a driver size now, so let me get another tool and we'll get right to it. Now, before you guys go crazy at me in the comments, I know it's not called a driver size. I call it that because all you need is one of these screwdrivers here that you can put different bits in. You know what I mean? Like all the different bits. It fits perfectly on a lot of these small engines. So I just use just the driver. That's why I call it driver size. I know that's not the correct size or anything, and I know a lot of you guys are sticklers. I can't believe you're using metric on standards. That's a 9/16, not an 8mm. Listen, if it works, it works. I've been doing this for a long time. We get it done, and I show you guys how to do it with the tools that I have. Carburetor looks really dirty. Ooh, that looks good though. That came off pretty good, so I like that. We just have to really just get this out of the way. It's choking. And it's throttling. So I'm thinking we just clean it up. I'm going to replace this fuel line though on the side here. So I'm going to show you now how I'm going to remove this carburetor. let me get a flathead screwdriver and we'll be coming right back to it. Okay guys, first things first, let's do this throttle cable. Now it needs to unclip out of here without breaking it. It's always a scary thing with these old plastics. And we broke it. And it went to the ground. That's fine, I think it'll still work. So with that removed and out of the way, which we didn't want to break it, but it broke. Now we're coming down to the choke, which we'll get off when we take the carburetor off of, another leaf. So, you've seen this on previous. You can get a nut in there to get these off, but you take a flathead, and my flatheads, let me zoom out, have an end where you can put on a 15 millimeter, and you can turn them to loosen them. And after that, it's just as simple as just unscrewing it. There's good and bad things to having the screw ones. Actually, I can't think of a bad thing. But it makes it a little easier, especially on these Core and Tacoma style carburetors where they're at the back there. You don't got a lot of room to get a socket in there or really a wrench. So flathead really does the trick. You guys probably disagree and have other ways to get them off, but this is how I do it. And this is the easy way. I show you guys the easy way. I don't, got all the fancy tools in the world. This is my full-time job, but I don't need to buy all the fancy tools. And whoever tells you need a $90 screwdriver is wrong. You can use the $10, $20 screwdrivers. Whoever told you need a $100 Milwaukee fuel impact, if they want to use that, more power to them. I use a Harbor Freight Hercules 12 volt. Never done me dirty. And for higher power stuff, I use an air impact. I use a cheap Husky for Walmart, and it works fine. It's how you use the tool, not the tool. The biggest tool you have is in your head, your brain. Let me tell you, preach in here. Preach in here. But, keep Pittsburgh. Where's the logo? Pittsburgh right there. Bam. Harbor Freight. Screwdriver does the job really well. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars of fancy tools in your toolbox. I got a nice tool review coming soon of the toolbox I use for my everyday business and all the tools I use in it. Okay, now, like I said, I'm going to end up replacing that fuel line, so I'm just going to pull it off. There we go. Let's take this over to the cleaner, pull it apart, and get it ready to get clean. Let's look in there real quick. I don't know if we can see too hot in there, but you can see some of the nastiness in there. And of course the layer of dirt all over it. The ultrasonic cleaner will do justice and clean it up. 13 on the bottom. We're going to put a new fuel line in. So let's get it over to the cleaner. Okay, let's get to work on taking off this carburetor and getting it ready for cleaning. Now, like I said, the only two expensive things I recommend is an air compressor and an ultrasonic cleaner. Those are must-have. But as a lot of you know, I'm a mobile mechanic, so a lot of times I don't have my ultrasonic cleaner. But when I'm at home doing repairs or at the home shop, it's a blessing. So, like I said, 13 on the bottom. Goes in the basket for cleaning. I And while we're here, we'll get this fuel line off the right way by taking pliers to it. Now let's see if we can tap. Yeah, I hate when this happens. So, when this happens, if brute force isn't working, we're going to run it through the cleaner, and during the cleaning process, it'll heat up and loosen everything, and then we can pull it off. So I'm going to unscrew 1, 2, 3, throw it all in the basket, clean it, and we'll come back and put it back together. So, and just like that, it's cleaned and disassembled. So, now we're going to take our air compressor, give it a good blowy. Now with that all said and done, let's put it back together. So float and needle, it's going to go in. And then followed by the float keeper. Now float bowl cover, float bowl screw, that didn't go in right. Come on, baby. There we go. Now we're going to put the adjustment needles back in. I believe this one went right here. This one went right here. And the idle goes right here. Now, look how good that cleaner did. We'll tighten and adjust these as we get them back on the machine. But look at that, brand new looking. The spray paint's from the factory. I wish they didn't do that. But this is a good Walbro carburetor here. Okay, here we are back at the machine. So, what I want to do first is I want to put the choke up first. So, choke on, just a little Z-bend right in there. Now from there, I'm going to make sure my little piece of fuel line, brand new, that I got is going to fit, or if I have to trim it some more. So we're going to test fit it first. And to be honest, it looks like I'm going to have to cut it just a hair shorter. So that's not a big deal. I'll just cut it a hair shorter. test fit it again. Yeah, that has to be really short. And there we go. So now that that fuel line's on there, let's start these. Put them in the carburetor, line them up. Take our flathead, just get them started. There's that one. And there is that one. Now from there, we're going to take this piece. And we're going to find that little broken piece that I had. Still got to use it. Should be right around here. Oh no, it's right up here. You guys were seeing it before me. So, just like that. And that's on there pretty good. I don't think I should have a problem with that at all. So now all we're going to do is tighten it up. Little on one side, little on the other. And then tighten one side, tighten the other. Tighten. And tightened. Now from here we'll put this back up here like that, and we'll take our 3 bolts here, driver size. I still know there's people just hating on me for saying that. That's funny. I'm hoping this is all we need to do. So before I actually put the air filter on, we're going to take it for a test drive. We're going to add some fresh gas to it and start her up. And I'm praying that's all we need. I'm busting out a lot of repairs today. If you guys are interested, I'm doing a vac attack home light next. That'll be the next week's video, or in the next 2 days, whatever. So now that those are all on, choke's on, working, we're gonna add gas and try to fire her up. Okay, let's put some gas in it. My wife didn't put on my gas thing all the way when she filled it up. There we go. These gas cans suck anyways. Just enough gas to see if she'll start. Throttle it up a little bit. Make sure she's in neutral. Yes, we'll find out. Let's see if she runs. Choke on. Choke it. Full choke. hit it with a bit of ether just to give it a boost and see if it stays running. Okay. Quick little spray, nothing major. Choke on. Choke off. I'm starting to think that it wasn't just the carburetor. So we're going to test our spark now. So let me get my tester. Okay guys. Harbor Freight spark plug tester. Easy peasy. One side goes on the spark plug, other end goes in the boot. And we're going to give it a few pulls and see what happens. I'm not seeing no spark. Okay. So no spark. Let's remove that spark plug and see what it looks like. 13/16. See, sometimes this happens, we think, man, oh man, all we needed was carburetor. It turns out you need a little bit more. Now we're going to old school test it. Don't do it this way. I'm going to hold on to it and see if I get shocked. And nope. No shock coming to me. So we are getting no spark. So a few things we can look at. Let me get you in the area. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me for the wind. But we're going to find out about this coil and see if we can't clean it up and see if we can't restore spark. So normally you wouldn't have to remove this recoil, but because this bar is in the way and I don't feel like removing that big old bar, we're going to remove the recoil. So just some 8mm. Easy peasy, guys. Like I said, forgive the wind. I'll probably mute some of it or speed it up. But we'll play it by ear. I don't know what it really sounds like until afterwards. But the wind is whipping. Okay, so now that the recoil is off with the 5 8mm bolts, we got 3 10mm bolts, one right here, one down here, and one on the other side. Those 3 bolts should allow us to pull this cover off here and look into where the coil is. So let me pull that off so you guys don't have to hear this wind. Not a big deal. And then, like I said, 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts. Okay guys, so I take that back. I had to remove the gas tank, which is 2 Phillips on the top, 2 11s on the bottom. Move the gas tank over, and we have a 4th 10mm right here to remove this cover. So let me remove that, and let's pull the cover off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 4 bolts have been removed, mine and the gas tank too. So now we can remove the cover. See, with that recoil, we wouldn't have been able to pull it up. But now we have access to that coil, which we can see. I don't know if you guys can see right off the top what's wrong, but I kind of can. So right off the top, let me see. Let's get the. I don't think they're making making a good connection with the amount of rust on the terminals here on the magnets. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna sand those down, get a little bit of sanding paper in there, maybe remove it and re-gap it. And I'm just inspecting some of the wires here. Yeah, move it, re-gap it, and see if we can't bring some life back to this baby. Because I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's bad at all. I think it just needs to be cleaned. So let's see what that looks like after we're done. Okay, so I just hit it with this brass brush. Simple as that. Now look at it. Clean as a whistle. I went ahead and removed the coil. We're going to re-gap that right now. I'm going to show you how I do it. And yeah. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you how to gap a spark plug. So all you got to do is get your coil back up to where it needs to go. And you're going to start first by popping in some bolts, just starting them really. Now that it's cleaned up, we're going to give it a nice good gap. So now what I like to do is hold it up, slide that magnet under, and then just before we go all the way under, we're going to take a business card. This is a police business card. Any business card will work, as long as they're not like super thick. You're going to slide it up and under, and you're going to get that magnet right under there. Give it a little downward push. Now you're going to tighten up these little bolts here. See a business card magnet, and it's sucked down to it. There is official gapping tools you can buy, but most of the people that use them, they like do this at home and stuff, and even some professional mechanics really don't do that. We just use the business card trick. It works really good. And you just turn that magnet over, get your business card out, and then from there we should have a nice gap. And it's cleaned up. So I want to put all this back together, put a tester on it, and see if we got spark. Okay fellas, moment of truth, got it all back together. Let's see if we have spark now. What we've all been waiting for. Okay, first things first, we're gonna make sure it's on. It is on. Well, let's go. Oh, you guys see that? I think she's gonna start up now. Let's see. I don't know. You guys can't see me right now, but I got a big old smile on my face. You know, that worked. Okay. Let's see if she fires. We might have to use ether. Turn on the gas. If this works, I'm gonna shit. Choke on. Spray a little bit of ether in it. Choke on. Okay, we're still dying though. So now I'm wondering if we're even getting fuel to the carburetor. So what I'm going to do, let me bring you over here. Sorry about the wind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this part of the fuel line here. Zoom in, see if you can't see my finger. And I want to see if fuel is shooting out of there. There's a little bit of gas. Yeah, fuel is going up. Fuel is going up. So the pump's working. And we got fuel in there. So now what I'm thinking is we probably just have some adjustments we gotta mess with on the carburetor. I'll show you where those are located. Raise you up. Okay, we have one adjustment right here and one down here, right there. So let me play with those and see what we can figure out. Okay, dokie, we're gonna just mess with these adjustments. Okay, let's choke it. show you where the little switch is. This is where the tines go. This one's kind of dangerous because it doesn't go forward or backwards without the tines. Like most of them, you could just tine it up. This one, it's either on, going, or not going. But it does have a reverse, so there was the tines. And the forward and reverse, they just lift the engine up and down to switch it into forward or reverse. That's pretty cool. It needs to be greased up. But other than that, there we have it.